Well, so I wanted to start by asking you about the Ford Ice Center. First, how did the idea for it come about?
Well, in a non-traditional market, you need to grow your own fans. I mean, literally. So we need to get sticks in kids' hands. We need to get kids learning how to skate. It's something that people enjoy forever. Whether you play hockey, you skate for fun, go into figure skating, speed skating, we need to build facilities. Unfortunately, you just don't freeze ponds in Nashville very often. Outside my own backyard, there is no just natural ice. So we worked with the city, built Ford Ice Center. But our big pledge was to do a lot more than just have an ice center that's egocentric to the Preds. It was to really create something special for the community. That's why we built it in Antioch. You know, it's part of town that's been going the wrong way for 10, 15 years. And then what we all said is we want to make sure that we can give back to the community and get kids on skates that normally wouldn't and break down all financial barriers. And then someone had the great idea of reaching out to just the greatest skater that's ever lived to see, would you do something with us? Would you create the Scott Hamilton Academy? We didn't know what that meant. We had the first meeting with him, and what I love about Scott is...
And you reached out, right?
We did, and before the question was finished, I think we were along the lines of, hey, we're building an ice center in Antioch. Would you... And he said, yes. I said, you don't know what we're going to say. He said, it doesn't matter, I'm in. You know, he's a big fan of the Preds, big fan of ours. It's hard not to be around him and not get inspired. And it was just so much fun when we kind of articulated what we thought we wanted to do and then watch what he does just take over and say, we're going to change how kids get introduced to ice.
Why did you want Scott Hamilton involved?
Have you ever met Scott Hamilton? Yeah. I mean, forget about what he is, you know, the sheer personality and the fact that he makes you feel inferior because he's such a nice man. Forget about that. In our backyard, we have someone that was better at what he did than anyone that's probably walked the earth or skated on the earth, I guess. It's like getting Babe Ruth to become your hitting coach. Then you overlay that onto what Scott Hamilton is and what he's done for so many people, how he's always willing to put himself out there and use his own personal stories and challenges to make this a better community. The fact that he said yes before we ever even said what the arrangement was, what our real goals were, had me more excited, had this whole organization excited about it. And that's how he's lived this whole partnership. It's what's best for the kids, what's best for the city, what's best for the center. And in that order, the kids, the city, the center. Because if you look at it in that way, in that pyramid, we can't be wrong. We can't fail. And it's been tremendous. He's gotten us involved in more things than we thought we ever would be. He brings such goodwill to it. The only problem with Scott Hamilton is people don't realize it's the Scott Hamilton because he's so approachable. My own mother came out to Ford Ice Center a few months ago, and we're standing on the Scott Hamilton poster, and she said, oh, it's funny, your figure skating coach, his name is Scott Hamilton. I said, well, it's Scott Hamilton. I said, no, it's not. He happened to be over in the corner. I waved him over. He came over, and she laughed again. She said, wow, you look like him. And he laughed because he's Scott Hamilton. He said, oh, you're so sweet. Thanks for saying that. And he walked away happy. She walked away happy. Now she's mad at me because she realized it's the Scott Hamilton. Right. But he really is tremendous. And it's not just like a celebrity throwing his name on a wall and having other people do the work. And he has a tremendous coaching staff underneath him. But he's on the ice. He knows the kids' names. And what I loved, our first class for Learn How to Skate, we had a 2-year-old and an 82-year-old in that class. I mean, it was this full, fun class that he was doing. And he knew everyone's name. He sees them in town and says hello to them. That means a lot, you know, to a 7-year-old boy or girl.
I understand you and Scott have become friends through this process as well. What would you say you most respect about him?
You know, when I first met Scott, you know, I was pretty intimidated. You know, again, you're meeting someone that is better at what he did than almost anyone else that's ever done it. So right away, there's that intimidation factor. Then you start looking at some of the things that he's done from a charitable standpoint. And when he takes a cause on, he doesn't write a check for $100 or show up with a wave and an appearance. He goes and takes over, and whatever they thought they could have raised by his mere presence and his gift of getting other people involved, every fundraiser is 10 times, 100 times what they thought it could be. So I was pretty intimidated when I first, you know, encountered him, but that's one of his gifts. He makes you feel comfortable, and he cares more about what you're doing, what you've done, where you've been, than ever talking about, oh yeah, I did this in Sarajevo, or, you know, I announced this, or this is who I know. And the more you get into the depths of some of the events he puts on to raise money, to really change kids' lives that are in a battle they shouldn't be in, and not just in curing what they're doing, but how they're being cured, so the quality of life just changes fundamentally. I mean, it's incredible. And the stars that always say yes to him, you know, at his event a few weeks ago, before he was done articulating what he wanted to do to Sheryl Crow, the answer was yes. And every skater that was up there supporting him, the answer is always yes, because you want to be around him. You want to be drawn to him because you're a better person after you talk to him. And he's had his challenges. Like you said, he has odd hobbies, right? He collects tumors. I feel awful. I collect baseball cards. He's
Right.
just better at his hobbies as well. But that doesn't get him down. He uses that as a platform to really inspire others. And that's a gift unto itself. Being able to open your personal life, so openly to so many people while you're in a fight, that no one really wants to be in. He's an incredible man.